Welcome back, explorers!
Welcome back, explorers! Today's video is a little bit different because the team is in different places, but that doesn't stop us from bringing you the chapter of the week. Chapter 2: More than just a statue with a pole. Today's topic is about semiotics in monuments.
Today we have a semiotic reading of the monument National Japanese American Memorial to Patriotism during World War II. The chapter discusses key technical elements, historical context, and the interpretation of the signs. We are going to be using the theories of Peirce, the classification of signs, along with theories for Lotman, Eco, Ginette, and Barthes. For some historical context, this post-World War II era in the US was lived by the Japanese American people with a lot of sentiment of discrimination against them because they saw them as people who weren't patriotic despite being American citizens. There were also a lot of instances where they were relocated forcefully to another state even and kept in incarceration camps under unjust conditions. Erected on November 9, 2000, the National Japanese American Memorial to Patriotism during World War II is no exception. It stands in Washington, D.C., the capital city of the U.S. The monument as a whole was planned by the architect Davis Buckley, while the sculpture itself is the work of artist Nina Akamu. It serves as both an apology and a remembrance, the first by the government towards Japanese Americans, and the second is a recognition of the patriotism shown by said group in times when they were being rejected by their own country. Our hypertext is the myth of Japanese American patriotism in the US. The architect is a monument and the paratext is a war memorial due to the characteristics and the way it's built, with walls, plaques, names, and the kind of material being used.
What people see at the center of the monument is a rectangular column in which two cranes are perched. According to Peirce classifications, these are symbols. In Japanese culture, they stand for longevity, which for the Japanese myths could mean more than 1,000 years, can be approached as something resembling immortality. The position of the cranes has more signs that are interesting. They are shown close together. They are leaning on their wings together, which are spread upwards and down. They are also facing opposite directions. The wings reach higher than the monument walls. Their closeness and the way they lean on each other can be a symbol of teamwork, a shared space, or a struggle. Here's the important key word: opposite. As said before, it's showing the opposite of their wing and body. This could lead to two different perspectives or point of views between the Americans and the Japanese. The next sign is the fourth wide, being held by the birds. Both cranes are entangled by it, and it can be seen digging into their wings as they pull it with their beaks. This is a symbol of the imprisonment camps, as well as an index of an obstacle, pain, and imposed limitations. We can't find many elements in the pool. There are only 5 boulders, which means or is a symbol of the 5 generations of Japanese American families that were in United States at the moment this monument was built. For Japanese culture, the concept of minimalism is very relevant. And in this type of gardens, they try to eliminate all the extra ornaments. It caught our attention that these boulders, they are not actually the same. They are in different proportions and texture. They are found in different positions. They don't follow a pattern. In Japanese culture, there is a term called wabi-sabi, which is the perfection in their imperfection. So, the position of these rocks represents a clear example of a wabi-sabi. In Occidental culture, we are actively looking for symmetry, but in Japan, they find beauty in this irregularity. The main purpose of the Japanese gardens or Zen gardens is to bring calm in the chaos. So, this water in the pond or in the pool is a symbol of calm, despite the monument having such a violent context. Monuments share stories, and the viewer must take their components and context apart in order to interpret them. In this particular monument, Akamu and Buckley took the narrative of the Japanese Americans' patriotism in 1945 and make a hypertext. In doing so, they illustrate how, despite all the history, what happened, Japanese descendants in the United States endure and their values are immortal. In the end, they recognize their struggles, but rise above them with support from each other. The same way the cranes rise above their walls, the natural elements surrounding them are a testimony of introspection by the engaging parties and a visual immersion to the periphery of Japanese versus non-Japanese hemisphere. Thanks for watching. We invite you to subscribe and comment what you think about what we discussed in this video. Thank you so much. Have a nice week.